In this video, I'll show the framework and development environment for TI-Nspire PublishView documents. We'll start with the Open Teacher software, and at the top you can see the title bar, and it has the document name, it has the type of software you have. Below that we have global menus, and these are standard menus that you'd find in many desktop applications. Below that we have tabs, and these tabs are known as workspaces, and the teacher software has two workspaces. One is Documents, which is used for opening and creating documents, and the other one is Content, and Content is used for opening documents from your local computer or from the web. We'll talk about the Content workspace in a later lesson. Below the Documents tab, we have the Workspace toolbar. This allows you to create a new document, to open a document, to save a document, to undo, redo, cut, copy, paste, etc. Below that, in the left-hand side, we have what's known as the Documents toolbox. We'll talk about this more in just a minute. Over here you have the viewing area. This is where your document appears. Notice at the bottom we have a tab with the document name. You can have more than one document open at a single time, and each one will have a tab at the bottom. Finally, at the very bottom of the space we have a status bar, page number, ability to access settings, change the document view, or to adjust boldness. Boldness is a characteristic of TI-Nspire documents that allows you to make the text or lines bigger so they're more visible in a classroom. Let's start by creating a new document. Notice we have two kinds of documents. We have TI-Nspire documents and we have PublishView documents. TI-Nspire documents are traditional documents. They appear much like a PowerPoint. You can view these page by page, and they open on TI-Nspire handhelds. PublishView is a new kind of document, and it appears only on a desktop computer. That's the one we'll explore today. Now I have a new PublishView document open. Notice that we have a new document tab at the bottom. It has a different icon from the first document. This was a TI-Nspire document. This is a PublishView document. In the viewing area, you can see what looks like a sheet of paper. If you scroll down using the scroll bar on the right, you can see that there's even a page number at the bottom. The sheet has three sections. You have a header at the top, you have a content area in the middle where you add your objects, and you have a footer at the bottom. Every PublishView document has at least one problem. You can change the name of the problem if you'd like. Now let's look at the Documents toolbox. The Documents toolbox has three panes: TI-Nspire Applications, TI-Nspire Documents, and PublishView Objects. If you look at the TI-Nspire Applications, you can see that we have 8 to choose from. We have a calculator, we have graph, geometry, a list or spreadsheet, data and statistics, which allows you to insert a chart, notes, Vernier Data Quest, which is our data collection application, and questions. To get a TI-Nspire application onto the PublishView sheet, you simply grab it and drag it. Note once it's on the sheet, you have a border that's in gray with handles in blue. This allows you to move the object and to resize the object. Notice that as the object's being moved or resized, blue alignment guides that appear on the page. Once an object is placed, you can click inside it to make it fully interactive. I can do anything here in PublishView that I can do in a traditional TI-Nspire document. In this case, I'll graph a function. I can move the label around. I can make the window bigger. I can drag the function to change it. Notice that when I change the function, the equation's updated automatically. Now, one property of a PublishView document is that I can insert objects on top of objects. So I'll take a notes page and I'll put it on top of my graph. Notice that it appears on top. I can add notes about the graph. I can resize it. I can place it. Now, if it happened to be an application where I didn't want it on top, I could right-click on the gray area around the object and change the Z order. Then when I deselect it, it appears in the proper position. In this case, I want it on top, so I'll bring it back up to the front. Now you can use the order in your class to hide objects as you need to. For example, I can put another notes page over here with a question. I can resize this. And then I can place it on top of my answer. That way, as you go through class, or as a student goes through this independently, they can take that and drag it down and see the answer. Now, one convenient feature of PublishView is that if you right-click in any white space that doesn't have an object underneath, you get what we call the Sheet Context menu. Now, from the Sheet Context menu, you can insert objects, just like we did from the Documents toolbox. You can also add a new problem, or you can add a new sheet. In this case, we'll add a new sheet. Now, if you don't like the borders around your objects, you can use the same menu, select Layout Options, and deselect the object borders. And we can also remove the problem breaks if we'd like to. So let's see what that looks like. For this case, I'd like to have those on, so let me go back, turn them back on. Now let's talk about the second panel in the Documents toolbox. This is the TI-Nspire Documents panel. What this allows us to do is to reuse existing content very easily within our PublishView document. The way we use this is to hit the Browse button. We pick a pre-existing document that's of interest to us. We'll try this area formulas document. We'll open that. Now on the left-hand panel, you can see all the pages in this document. And if I want to use one of these pages in my PublishView document, all I need to do is grab it and drop it in. And now I have a fully functional page. Let's assume that I wanted to use the whole problem. Then I could take this, drag it over, and I will get all the pages that were in that problem. Now when we drag a problem, the pages are stacked one on top of each other, so you'll need to separate those out. But you can see that they're all here, and again, they're all fully functional, fully interactive. Now the third panel in the Documents toolbox is what we call PublishView objects. These are PublishView objects because they will not open and run on a TI-Nspire handheld, but they will open and run on any computer that runs PublishView. The objects include images. Let's choose this one, which is my breakfast. Looks yummy. We can resize it if we need to. We can also insert videos. Grab, drag, choose a video. The video loads, and you can play it and test it right there. And you can leave that going while you're doing other things. I'll turn it off for now. This is a PublishView text box. Remember, we could insert text using the notes box above. I'll show you where that was. Up here, this is a notes box. This will open on a handheld, but the text formatting is very limited here. With the PublishView text box, you have a much more formatting capability. You can add different typefaces, various sizes, and you can also easily change the color, or you can change the effects. You can change the alignment, and you can also add hyperlinks. There we go. Let's check this out. And there's Google. So that's been a very brief introduction to the PublishView framework and development environment. Have fun.